Hi, dear students. Welcome back to my session. In our previous session, we had a discussion and we solved some problems which are related to Kirchhoff's laws. So, as per our syllabus, we need to move the further topic that is the comes under the category of basic laws of electric circuits. The next topic is name is mesh analysis. This is one of the most important analysis for the finding of branch currents. Already I said there are a lot of ways of techniques for the finding of particular branch, for the finding of currents for the particular branch. And in our last two sessions, we used two ways of approaching for the finding of currents to the branches. So by using the two ways, that is nothing but a for the writing of loop equation based on the branch currents, and for the writing of loop equation based on the loop currents. Those are two ways. Please try to remember those ways. Those ways will be comes to in different names in our further classes, but those names and those procedure and those rules are very important for the application point of view. Next, in this mesh analysis, this is one technique, also finding of branch currents. This technique is very similar to one of the technique. Already we know the technique. I will name it the technique in end of the class. So for this, this analysis of technique can be applicable to only the planar networks. What is the meaning of planar and non-planar? What is the meaning of planar and non-planar? So planar techniques, let me add my marker. So planar means there is a proper way, and the circuit should be crossovers and the surface without this crossovers, like that. That is a planar. And where is a non-planar means there is a lot of there is a lot of disturbances on the circuit like this. I will show you by drawing this. This is planar circuit. So this is planar circuit. What is the meaning of non-planar? Non-planar is nothing but if I add like this, resistances like this, and if I add a few more resistance, if I take a U-turn, and if I take junction over adding of there like the resistors, if I add one more resistor like this is called comes under the category of non-planar. So this analysis technique is not applicable for the non-planar circuits. And in this technique, uh, let me remove this. Now that is a way to apply this technique. And what is the meaning of mesh analysis? Means analysis is nothing but we are analyzing the circuit by using in proper way of methods. In this method we are using mesh. Mesh is nothing but already you know the basic definition: junction, branch, loop and mesh. Here the mesh is nothing but a closed path which has no smaller loops inside. Already you know there is no further dividing, there is no further loops. Once the meshes are decided, mesh loops contain meshes, but meshes doesn't contain the loops. There is no vice versa. Already you know this definition on your previous sessions. So here we are using mesh only. We are using mesh, we are not using loops. That is the reason I am denoting over here as a mesh only one loop. There is no interlinking of the meshes, is nothing but a loop. I am not considering the loops, I am considering only meshes. So here there are some set of important points for the mesh analysis. In formulating mesh analysis, we are assigning a mesh currents to the each mesh. Try to remember these highlighted words, highlighted color. Um, while I am solving the problems by using the mesh analysis, first I need to be assigned mesh current or mesh currents to each mesh. So if I take this is our one mesh, second mesh, first mesh and second mesh and third mesh. In this mesh I am assigning this is a one loop, I1 and I2 and I3. Finally we need to be find the current. That's it. That is our final motto for the using of any technique. For finally, you want to know the current in each branch. You want to know the current in each branch. You can use Kirchhoff's laws, you can use mesh analysis, you can use nodal analysis as per your convenient, as per your suitable method for your particular circuit. You can use that particular method. So finally, you need to be find the currents in each branch. So that is the first input for this mesh analysis. Next, mesh currents are sort of fictitious. In that particular, mesh current does not define the current in each branch of mesh to which is assigned. So here you need to be follow strictly what rule. You should not add this I1 of current to the branches. That means you should not touch this mesh current to the branch. You want to try what I want to try to tell you, you should not touch this mesh current to this particular branch, right? So that is the reason mesh currents does not define the current in each branch. Means the loop current or the mesh current is not equal to the branch currents. If I say the branch currents, I can say I2. If not I2, IB. If my mesh current is I1, it not equal. IB is not equal to my mesh current I1. Why? Because this I1 is assumption current based on this mesh. I2 is based on this mesh. I3 is based on, but I1, but my IB, the branch currents through this particular branch IB1 is nothing but a only dependent on this branch capability and branch resistive material or inductive or capacitive material. Then only this value is going to be decided. For this I1, this all 1, 2, 3, 4 branches is comes to be affect this I1. That is the reason IB is never equal to the I1. This is the second two important points you need to be remember while you're doing the mesh analysis. So first point is assigning mesh currents to the each mesh, and second point is mesh current does not define the current in each branch of the mesh to which is assigned. So this is two important points you need to be remember while you are following the mesh analysis technique. Right. Next, I move to the next slide, which is nothing but the procedures. What are the procedures? What are the procedures you need to be follow? Here the procedure is nothing but I can make it as a rules. You can make it as a rules. These are the rules you need to be follow. You need to be follow these rules strictly. So you should not violate those rules. First, count the number of meshes. Let the number of equal to n. Means how you can count the meshes means wherever the closed path is there, you can find the number of, if let's say if this is a circuit and this is a branch, how many closed paths? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't point out this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is also 1, 2. It means number of meshes is 4. Means you are define the mesh current on each mesh. So let me define this is I1, I2, I3, I4 like this. Like this he is trying to say. Next, apply the Kirchhoff's laws on each mesh, generating the n equations. If there is 4 loops, you will get 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 equations you will get like this. You need to be generate the loop equations or mesh equations based on the your meshes. Solve those equations. This is mathematical part. So these are the 4 important steps you need to be remember. So now, so by using this procedure and rules, you need to be go for the finding the branch currents or mesh currents for the particular circuit. Right. Let me move to the next slide. So here he given the one circuit. This is circuit representing the not the numbers, representing their parameter values VA and R1, VL1 and RX, R2, VB. So this is basic procedure for the doing for the apply the rules of mesh analysis. So this is a procedure. I can name it as a rules. How we apply those rules in this circuit. So for that is the reason I took it as a R1, R2, R3 instead of the numerical values, those elements. So here I want to reveal the hidden fact. Again, I am repeating, I want to reveal the hidden fact behind this mesh analysis. So on that our previous session means I can name it as the session is number 8 session, means lecture number 8. In that 8 session, that is in a problem mode session. On that session, I taught you two important methods for the finding of loop equation. One method is based on the branch currents. You can find the loop equation based on the loop currents. Based on the loop currents. One method is for the writing of loop equation. There are two methods. One is based on the branch currents method. One is based on the loop currents method. Loop currents method. Here, on that time, I wantedly not mentioned. What I not mentioned? The name of loop currents have some other name. It means the loop currents have other name, that is mesh analysis. I wantedly not relieved this name as a other name of loop currents. Mesh analysis is nothing but a loop equation based on the loop currents. So whatever you know the rules on that day, on that session, that is nothing but lecture number 8 session, you should blindly follow those rules. At the time, I think we made some set of 4 rules. So same follow those rules. Here those rules are nothing but a procedures. Here there's name it as a procedure. So you should not confuse by solving the any circuit by using the mesh or branch methods. So loop equation based on the loop currents, loop equation is based on the loop currents is nothing but a mesh analysis. So it means loop equation based on loop currents is nothing but a mesh analysis. Now on the session, let me remove this clearly. Let me write. On that session number 8, on the session there are set of rules. Rule number 1 I can name is assume number of loops is equal to number of loop currents. Here also same loops. I am assuming the number of loops 1 and second, right? This is a one loop. I should mention the with currents. On the session also I mentioned clearly, mention the loop currents with currents I1 and I2. Don't touch these branches. This word also I mentioned in the session. So if you any doubts, please go through that session. This is I1 and I2. Next I made a rule. Rule number 2. Assume the direction of loop either clockwise or anti-clockwise. You should follow the same direction entire the circuit. So here I am following the clockwise. In the slide also it is mentioned clockwise itself. Next I made a rule of 3. Indicate the signs based on the direction of loop currents. So here he is following in this side he's following. I followed the in a different way of approach, but I want you guys need to be follow what we discussed on our session number 8. You need to be follow those approach. So this approach is different, but you will get answers is same. Finally you will get same equations. So here he followed only one sign, but in my session in section number 8 we followed in this common branch will have two different signs. One sign is depend upon this loop, one sign will be changed depend upon this loop. So when the loop currents will be changed, this common branch signs will be changed automatically. That rule we made on our session number 8. So now based on that analysis, I am writing the loop equation for this. So this is plus and minus, plus and minus. For this I will get plus and minus. So now I am writing the loop equation. This is a leaving sign, my plus VA, and minus this is current is I1 and R1. Next the leaving sign is minus I1. What is the value of this? Rx, I1 Rx. And for hence since this is a common branch, they have two inlet currents. One is for the I1, one is for the I2. Based on this direction of this I1, the leaving sign is negative. Based on this direction of I2, the leaving sign is positive. But the sign's indication is based on this currents. While I am writing the mesh one, the sign indication is based on the mesh current of one. While I am writing the mesh equation number 2, the sign will be changed based on the mesh equation number 2 current. So I1 R2 and I plus I2 plus I2 Rx is equals to 0, right? So I can write this equation. How I can write? Take a common of I1. Like I'm writing to take a common of I1 minus I1 plus, sorry, take a common of I1. Take a common of I1. Let me write this is a plus VA minus I1 will become a R1 plus Rx, right? And this will become a plus I2 Rx, right? Is equals to 0. Should I write this equation in this way? I'm going to write this equation in this way. VA is equals to, I am sending this term into the right side part. It will become a minus, will become a plus, plus I2 plus I1 R1 plus Rx, right? Next minus I2 Rx, same equation we receive, right? Don't merge two rules, or don't merge two ways of steps. You should follow only one way of approach. That what we discussed in our session number 8. So this is for the loop equation number 1. So let me know loop equation number 2 means mesh 2. If I apply the same for the mesh 2. So this is mesh 2, and now I am writing the mesh 2 equation. So here my signs are plus and negative, plus and negative. This is my current direction. Let me write this is approach, right? Plus and minus. Here while writing he is following only this fixed signs, but as per our rules which we made on session number 8, we have two different signs for the common branch. So now let me write based on the I2 direction of current. Minus Rx2 minus I2R2 minus VB. Here for this entering current, this is I2. We have one more entering current is I1. Based on this sign indication, the leaving sign is my plus Rx I1 is equals to 0. Minus Rx I2 minus I2 R2 minus VB. So here leaving sign minus, right? Should understand this common resistor. I have two currents. One is based on the I2, one is based on the I1. We have two currents. So let me write this equation in this way. Let me take common of this two I2. I2 have this side. Let me take common. How I take common? Let me take minus I2. R2 plus Rx, or I can write Rx plus R2 because Rx is first term now. So you should write first term Rx plus R2. So these two elements over. Next plus Rx I1 is equals to minus VB. Sorry, minus VB is equals to 0. So same equation I did in some mathematical combinations. So here I took as a common, that's it. Hence minus VB is equals to, I can write based on this mode. So here these two equations is both are same. If you observe, minus VB is equals to, I'm sending this part into the right side. It will be plus I2 R2 X2, right, plus I2 I2 R2. Then this plus Rx I1 will become a minus Rx I1. So finally these two equations are same. Based on your rules, you solve this writing of this loop equation. So once as soon as you finish the loop equation, your 80 to 90% job done. After that, the mathematical part will comes to the picture. Then you can solve the both two or many equations based on your assumptions. Then you can find the loop currents I1, I2, and I3. Based on the direction of loop currents, you can find the particular common branch currents. Right. Let me move to the next slide. So we are left with two equations from 1 and 4. This is equation number 1. Equation number 1. Let me remove these slides again. Sorry, let me remove these marks. Right. We are left with the two equations from 1 and 2. We have, what is the one equation? This is the one equation, R1 plus Rx I1 minus Rx I2 is equals to VA, right? Next, what is our second equation? Minus Rx I1 plus Rx I2, Rx R2 I2 minus VB. This is equation number 4. Here he wrote those equations. You can easily solve this equation from I1 and I2, right? Here he wrote in this mode. We took it as I1 terms here, I2 terms here. So he wrote in the form of in matrix form. If we add, this is I1 and I2. Is equals to, you can get VA and VB. Like this, he wrote these equations. Same thing here, you will get R11, R12, R13, R14, R21, R22, R33, R24. So based on your number of loops, you will get in more number of resistive elements. He wrote in that mode, right? Same. You written in matrix form means R1 plus Rx. This is nothing but a I can write 1 2 1 2. This is R1 1, right? This is R1 2. This is R2 1. This, hence this is R2 2. This is I1 I2 VA VB. So you can show in the form of in matrix, that's it, or you can show in the form of inverse of this matrix. The inverse of this means I is equals to V by R. You can show it in form of V is equals to IR, or you can show in form of I is equals to V by R. V by R is nothing but a V into R inverse. So same thing, you can observe over here by observing these two equations in the form of matrix form. Right, let me move to the next slide. Right, so here we will solve one example with the using of your loop currents method or mesh analysis method. Here this is 4 ohms. Sorry, this is shifted to here because of while drawing that has done mistake got occurred. So this is 4 ohms should becomes here and 2 ohms should becomes here. This is 6 ohms, right? Yeah. So same rules already you know in our session number 8, loop equation based on the loop current. Same rules you can follow, but here you need to be write these types of rules. This is very in a theoretical way of explanation for the procedure. So you can follow these rules or you can follow my rules. That is your interest only. So here let me read this problem. Write a mesh equations and solve for currents I1 and I2. You want to know the currents for this. Already in the problem he given the indication of current directions, that is in clockwise. You want to know the currents. He don't want to know the branch currents. He don't want to know the 4 ohms currents, 2 ohms current and 6 ohms common branch currents. He doesn't ask it in the type. He is asked clearly the currents of I1 I2 is indicated on the question. So I want you guys read the question clearly. Based on the question, you need to give correct answer. Don't write the lengthy type of answers. That is completely waste of time. For the writing of circuit exam, you need to be use the time in proper way. If you waste of time of solving the more number of equations, you will get same marks for that also, instead of solving a required answer, right? Next, so let me read the question. Let me see the problem. Here the 10 volts and 20 volts, and here the 4 ohms resistor. This is 4, this is 2. Let me, this is 4 ohms, this is 2 ohms. Right, now Here this is my loop current directions. This is plus minus, and this is plus and minus. So based on this direction of my loop currents, I am going to be by the loop equation. The leaving sign is positive 10. 10 minus 4 I1, right, next minus 6 I1, and that this is for 6 ohms. This current comes from this side, this current comes from this side. This is I1 current, this is I2 current. So for this minus 6 I1 and plus 6 I2, right? Next, and the leaving sign of this battery is minus 2 is equals to 0. If you do some reduction, how you can do reduction? Minus 6 is common, right? Minus 6 is common, you take it as a minus 6 common, and minus 6 will, if I take minus 6, minus 6, it will become I1 minus I2, right? Then the minus 4 I1 will become a minus 4 I1 itself only, and this is a plus 10 equals to 0. If I send this to part of this equation into the right side, it will become like this, right? So instead of writing this two steps, I wrote directly 4I1 plus 6 I1 minus I2 is equals to 10 minus 2, right? Same thing, you need to be write this for loop equation for the mesh equation of 2. Here also it's that is addition of this battery, because this leaving sign is positive, and for the leaving sign this is also positive, then you can write this directly 22, and this is a 6 is common of these two branches, hence the I2 will come first and I1 will be secondary minus, then this is a 2I2 and 7I2. So while writing these two steps, instead of this writing these two steps, you can write directly. This will comes with based on your practice. If you do practice more, you can write equations directly by seeing this circuit. So this is an advanced way of writing the equations. So now we got the two equations 1 and 2. For the two equations minus 6, I can from little more concluding these two equations like this. From this I got 22. Simplifying the equation number 11 to 1, for this got 10 I1 minus 6 I2. From this I got 10 I1 minus 6 I2. I will get 8. 10 minus 2 is nothing but I. If we solve these two equations, you will get currents. If you solve these two equations, you will get current of I1 and I2. So based on the finding of I1, I2, you should mention I1 value and I2 value. Let me solve in that part by using calci. Go to mode, equation 1, and click two unknown parameters. Then here minus 6, and B1 is nothing but a 15. Sorry, not 15. B1 is 12, 15 only, not 12. C1 is 22. 10 minus 6, and it will become a 8. I1 will, if you solve, will get I1 2.2 amps. I2 will be 2.35 amps. These are the loop currents or mesh currents. Here I1 2.21, I2 2.35 amps. This is the way of solving the problem by using the mesh analysis, right? So one more problem, let's see one more problem by using the mesh analysis technique. Solve for the mesh currents in the circuit below. Here there are four active sources, and rest of them are passive sources, passive elements. Four are active elements. So here, under options. To draw this, right? These all are the resistors, right? Right. Here, same thing. You need to apply the mesh analysis for these three loops. Here there are the I1, I2, and this is the one loop, second loop, third loop, I1 and I2, I3. Write KVL, write KVL clockwise for each mesh. Look for a pattern in the final equations. So just observe the pattern in the end of the equations. So here mesh 1 you can write directly. 6I1 10 is nothing but a common of these two loop equations. For the two loops, 10 is, observe this equation clearly. I am writing equation directly. The living, don't bother about the living sign and positive sign. You should add left side. You need to left side of this equation. You need to be add only drops. Right side you need to be add voltages. Means source right side, load left side. Based on this analysis, you can write equation directly. So now here the source is nothing but the input, load is nothing but the output. Input should be equals to output. That is nothing but your KVL, right? KVL is nothing but summation of EMFs plus summation of voltage drops equals to the 0. Same thing will be comes to the picture here. Here this is the left side is nothing but a load, right side is nothing but a source. Means batteries. Wherever this batteries are there, 12 volts, 20 volts, 10 volts, 8 volts, all comes to the right side part. And that is the reason I mentioned the plan clearly. Look for a pattern for the final equations. In these final equations, you need to be observe the pattern carefully. Here, that I am considering drops only. So for this I1 loop, let me remove this. Right. For this, I am writing the simple equation. So this is the drop. For I1, I have 3 resistors for this loop, right? For this I1 loop, you need to be include these 3 resistors. One resistor is independent, means only current, one current will be flow through this resistor, but this 10 ohms resistor is dependent on the two currents. One is I1 and I3. Means since I am highlighting of the I1 branch, that means the 10 current, so resistance of the branch and the current. So the currents means two currents. One is for the from the highlighting of branch, for the considering of the mesh 1 means I1 will comes, next I3 will also comes, because this is common of I1 and I3. Next, 4 ohm resistor also dependent on the two currents. One is I1 and I2. I1 is comes to the highest polarity here. I1 and minus I2 is equals to, for the writing of this in this method, for this living sign is positive and living sign is positive. 20 plus 10, 30, right? This is for mesh equation 1. If you go for mesh equation number 2, this 2, and for this 2 equation I need to be consider these 3 branches, right? One is, let me comes from 4 ohm resistor. This is a common, this 4 ohms is common for I2 and I3. So hence I2 will be comes to the first, I2 minus I1, 4 plus 11. 11 is common for I1 and I2 and I3. I2 is comes first minus I3. Then 3 is independent completely. Only one current is flowing through this 3 ohms resistor. So is equals to, what about this currents? Leaving sign minus 10 and leaving sign minus 8. Hence it will become a minus 8. Right? Leaving sign minus 10 and leaving sign minus. I already told you this left side part is loads and right side parts are sources. So sources also same. Then mesh number 3. Let me apply mesh number 3. Mesh number 3. You need to be considered also 3 resistive elements, means 3 branches for the writing of load equation. For the writing of source equation, you need to be considered 2 sources. Now I am writing load equation. Load equation means let me move from here. Sorry, from here, clockwise, right? From here, the 9 is independent. That is the reason only I3 current flowing through it, and hence next 11 is dependent for the 2 currents. One is I3 and I2. I3 comes first, then I3 minus I2 plus 10 also dependent on the 2 currents I3 and I3 and I1. I3 comes first minus I1, right? Next, while this is left side part is over, means load equation is over. Next we are moving to the right side part, that is the source equation. Source equation, you need to be follow the leaving sign for the everything. For the writing of equation, leaving sign only following, but instead of the mentioning all the signs and all the procedures in our whatever we mentioned, all the signs, all the rules in the session number 8 and 9, we are mentioning clearly every rule on our diagram. But in this is advanced mode of understanding. In this we are directly writing the equation instead of the mentioning of the signs and the currents pass and everything. We are writing the equation directly without mentioning any signs. So in the mode of load equals to source. In the mode of load equals to source means load equation is equals to source equation. Next, for here the leaving sign is positive and here the leaving sign is positive. 12 plus 8, it will become as a 20. So like this you need to write equations directly. Also you can write the equation. This is the in tactic way for the writing of equation. So here you should understand this equation. This is the equation we got from 13, 14, 15. You can convert into the matrix form. 20 minus 4 minus 10 minus 4. This is I1. This is 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2, 3. This is nothing but R11, R12, R13, R21, R22, R23, R31, R32, R33, I1, I2, I3, V1, V2, V3. Like this comes to the picture. This is very important standard form of mesh equation for the constituent following. This is the standard form. So how this standard form this comes to the picture means, here you need not write the all the sign indications. You need not follow the all the rules which you are made on this on the slide number 2 or 3. You can directly write the matrix form by observing the circuit. How we can write R11? While you are writing R11, you should consider as a summation of resistance around mesh 1 common to mesh 1 current I1. Means R11 means self value of resistance in the loop 1, right? Means self in that complete loop common to mesh 1 current 1. Summation of resistance around the mesh means while you are writing R11, you need to add this all the resistors. Let me clear you. While you are writing R11 means self value of resistances in this particular mesh or particular loop. So hence what comes to the R11 value? R11 is nothing but a 6, 10, 4. Hence it will become a 20. Am I correct? 20. This is R11. What about R12? R12 is nothing but a mesh number 1 and mesh number 2. The common resistance in between mesh 1 and mesh 2. Right? R12. Resistance common between mesh 1 and 2. When I1 and I2 are opposite through R1 and R2, it will become a minus. That is the reason you got here minus. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Here, why the -4 is comes? This is common of two meshes. One is mesh 1 current of I1 and mesh 2 of current of I2. While these two opposite currents are coming through this 4, then it will become a minus. Here, this minus value is mentioned. Minus. So directly you can write -4. Next, R13. R13, where is R13? Right, R13. Sorry, not here. Where is R13? And this is R1 and 3. R1 and 3, the common value of resistance between means mutual resistance between mesh 1 and mesh 3, 10 ohms, right? That is the reason he mentioned -10. Two opposite currents are passing through this is a that consideration of the two opposite value of currents I am mentioning minus. Next, R21 also R12 or R21, the common value of resistance is -4 only. That hence I can name it as a R. If you got the R12, indirectly you will getting R21 also. R13, it means you are getting the R31 value also. R23 means you also getting the value of R32 also, because 2 3 and 3 2 both are comes under the same category. So directly observing this equation, instead of this writing this lengthy equations, you can write directly. You can write directly 20, and this is R22. Let me count this R22 resistance. Means the resistances which are including in mesh number 2 means 4 plus 11 7 15, 15 plus 3 18. Is that 18 comes? Right, 18. Next, R22, right? R23. What about R23? R23, this is R2 and R3, 11. The common value of resistance is 11 between R2, right? This both same, this both same, and this will be same, right? Let me indicate those values clearly by changing the color. Let me show this. This is common. These are the common. These two are common. So if you know the value of R12 indirectly, you may write directly R21. Same applicable for this highlighted marks. So this is the way of writing the equation directly in matrix form. We now make an important observation. In this observation, you should remember this standard form. Standard form of this equation is very important. R11, R12, R11 is nothing but summation of resistance here on mesh 1 common to mesh 1 and current I1, and R22 is a summation of resistance around mesh 2 common to mesh 2 current I2. R33 is nothing but a means this value. This diagonal elements I am discussing. So R33 is nothing but summation of resistance around mesh 3 common to mesh 3 current I3. So for the finding of this resistance, you need to follow these rules. And for this R12, R21, you already know the minus of resistance common between mesh and 2. This is nothing but a mutual resistance. This is nothing but a self resistances. Self resistances. This comes from the category of mutual resistances between two meshes. So this is summation of sum of EMF around the mesh 1 in the direction of I1. So you should remember this is the direction of current. So direction of current only, the signs will be changed. So this value is this indication of these words are very important in the direction of I3. That in the direction of your mesh only, that EMF will be comes to the negative or positive. So this is about this explanation about this problem. So from this problem, you came to know you can directly write the equation by observing the circuit. By observing the circuit, you can write the directly equations by using the mesh analysis. You can follow those steps by using those rules, or you can write directly in form of matrix form. So hope you guys clear about this session, and in our next section we will solve a few more problems and few more way of approaching of different way of approaching of techniques by adding the current sources in the branch. So how that loop equation going to be affect in the mesh analysis when we are adding current source in the branch. So by changing the circuits in the by adding the different elements, the procedure will be changed. So try to follow the sessions thoroughly. If you any doubts, come back to me. Thank you. Thanks for your patience. Have a good day. Bye bye.